Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Caffeinated Jiu-Jitsu. I am super excited for our guest today. It is a power duo, and today's episode is not just about technique and belts and competition medals. It's about creating space, a space to start, to struggle, a space to learn without fear, and a space to become someone completely new through jujitsu, which we all know about the powers of transformity of jujitsu. I am joined today by Emily Berenson. Hope that's close.
Berenson.
Berenson, and we just stopped to to get this right. And Rebecca Miller, both purple belts, both instructors and founders of the Iron Wolf Ladies BJJ classes. And what they have built is not just a class; it's a room where women feel safe showing up exactly as they are. And this conversation for this episode is for women who train and women who may be thinking about training, and especially for gym owners who want to build something that is a safe place for women to train and a place that is built to last. Emily and Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're excited.
This is fun. I am so excited that you're both here. I know we've been kind of going. I've been trying to get you on for a little while.
You
I've
have.
sent a
Yeah.
couple of I've sent a couple of messages even before I
Well,
came back to Iron Wolf.
it can be hard
I
trying
know.
to get more than just one person
I know.
to set
Yeah,
a date. So
lining up schedules is
we
hard,
made it
and
happen.
I think we all have kids, we all have busy schedules, but I am so
Hmm.
excited and such a timely episode. We were talking a little bit about that before we hit record. So, um, I'll let you know, sometimes it's hard to start or know where to start, but let's start at the beginning. And what made you realize women only classes are needed, and if maybe there was a specific moment or pattern that made you both see or think, wow, something's missing here.
Well, we just, really wanted to have a safe space for just women. Rebecca and I are very capable of training with men. But it's really nice to just also just do jujitsu with the girls.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know about you, Rebecca, but you probably feel the same. Whenever I just trained with the guys, I feel kind of like I've been hit by a train afterwards. So I really
yeah.
don't feel that way when it's just us girls. We move differently. We're very technical and um, very attentive to each other's needs within the roles. But yeah, it was definitely something that we saw the need for. Caleb came to us and was like, "Hey, why don't you do a ladies class?" And he really just opened that door for us, and we're immensely grateful for him for that.
Absolutely. And I've always thought it was such a need because, especially if you're first starting out,
Mhm.
and you're female, it's a little daunting. It's a little like, what am I getting into? And so having a ladies only class is a really good first step. I think it's a little bit more comfortable. To see all females in there because there's definitely been times I know Emily's had this experience too. When I first started jujitsu and I got there, I'm like 5 foot, maybe one, and
On a good day, right?
and yes, on a good day, on a good day. And I mean, I'm surrounded by giants, and so it was a little scary at first. And so I love that we give the opportunity. Not that we couldn't go against the guys, or you couldn't
Mhm.
first day go and join an all
Yeah.
guys, but this it gives that extra option,
Mhm.
especially if you feel a little hesitant. It's a little bit of I don't know, a relief maybe, knowing that there's an all ladies class, and there's definitely things we have similarities. I don't know. When we see the girls, we're like,
Oh,
yes.
friends.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I would imagine looking across the mat and seeing just all guys, and you're the only one in class. Especially if if you think about from a brand new person's perspective, right? Maybe it's their like second week or first week on the mat, and they show up and they're the only female there. You know, did, so did either one of you train anywhere else, or have you both been at Iron Wolf throughout your whole journey so far?
Just Iron Wolf. I've cross-trained at a couple of other gyms, but
Mhm.
my training has been strictly at Iron Wolf.
It really
So
has. And also like with Iron Wolf, I don't know, it's a special
It
place.
is.
yeah,
It really was a place that once I got there, like Caleb really works hard to make anybody who enters comfortable, like lets us know that this is a safe place to train, and that's huge for a woman.
yeah. And the reason I asked that, so when you both started, and Caleb does, he creates just an amazing environment of a welcoming environment. But when you think, if you can think back to, maybe your first week of
Hmm.
jujitsu training, and you know what, because I know at Iron Wolf, and I don't know if it was like this when it first started. You both would know the earlier days than I would, but you roll pretty quickly, right? I mean, it's not a wait until you get a certain amount of hours to roll. But when you first started training, maybe with guys, and like, what were some of your feelings and um, apprehensions? I mean, were there any? I would imagine were maybe there was a time or two that you thought, I don't know about this.
Hmm.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Whew.
Well, you started training before me,
Oh,
so
man, it was back in the day.
yeah, we're
Was,
Yeah.
old.
I was, I'm old. Okay. But I remember it. The reason that I first actually started jujitsu was I had a situation. I was a single mom at the time, and I had to get some work done at my house. And there was this creepy gentleman. I'm sorry, but there was, and he was just a little too like forward and hovering over you. As a lady, no one wants to be hovered over. Okay. Anyways,
Agreed.
right? And so it just I had these red flags going off that like I don't have any tools. I was like, all right, at this point, I don't have anything. So I started looking, and then that's when I happened upon Iron Wolf, so thankfully. But I had no idea what I was doing or what I was getting into, for that matter. I mean, I had no martial arts experience ever in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Originally, I was like, I'll never be that girl. But then it was just, all right, I'm gonna learn some techniques, some self-defense. And so I showed up and they were just weird guys. And I know that that sounds bad, but I'm telling you, like, there's a different type of person for jujitsu. And I had a little bit of that crazy in me. And I saw one of them too. And I fell in love with it pretty fast. And I honestly just wanted to beat up people at the time too. So it just fit the need.
Yeah, get some
Um,
of that aggression out, right? Maybe that you didn't know you
absolutely. But
had in there.
oh, it was there. And so this is why we do jujitsu.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like some other like apprehensions, I mean, I definitely was thinking it was different because it's a much more intimate sport than most sports.
Yeah.
But the way that Caleb kind of explained it and just made me feel comfortable. Like when we're here on the mat, we're thinking about technique and how you can dislocate the shoulder straight from their back. And I was like, oh, I'm digging this. And everybody was just so like they worked with me at my pace. They weren't like, hey, get her,
Yeah, fresh meats.
fresh meat.
Yeah.
They were like, they saw where I was in the very beginning stages, spazzy white belt, fast and crazy, diving headfirst into things I probably shouldn't have. And they were like willing to let me learn. And I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that, Rebecca, that's a great origin story, right? We just got the superhero slash villain origin story. That's awesome.
that's
Emily,
funny.
what about yourself?
Me? Well,
Origin story.
I got into it because my husband was training and two of my three boys were training. Um, so, I was like, well, what is all this about? They seem to really love it. So I started looking into it and doing like all my Google research and looking at all the other women who are doing jujitsu. And I thought, hey, maybe well I can try this too. So I was terrified. I'm extremely claustrophobic. I didn't want to work with anybody else but my husband. And I remember having like a panic attack, having to work with Caleb for the first time. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be touching another man. Even though he's trying to help me learn something that's
Mhm.
going to help me in the long run. That's something I've struggled with a lot is working with other men. But Rebecca was there, Jasmine, Misty, they were really patient with me. I know that I tend to be really nice in my jujitsu, and they've been really encouraging to me to, be a little meaner, be a little bit more aggressive.
Mm.
Um,
And once she got her blue belt, it was
Well,
all downhill
well,
from there for
yeah, I was
her.
about to say she wasn't very nice the other day with that cross collar choke she got me in. I can tell you that. No, that's awesome. It's similar. I think my story is more similar, Emily, to yours in that I got into it because of a family member. I mean, Cam. I don't know if you remember Cam when he was in the kids class. He was only in for a few weeks, and he decided to pursue soccer. And you know,
oh,
I
I
like,
recognize the name.
yeah, he's all my boys are huge. No one recognizes them if they haven't seen them in more than a year or two. They've all hit growth spurts. But yeah, Iron Wolf had contracts. I think they still have contracts. Or I don't know if they have contracts now, if it's a monthly fee. But back then they had contracts, and I didn't want to, unfulfill the contract. So I told Caleb, yeah, I'll take a couple of classes, and then absolutely obsessed.
Yeah,
Um, I
Hmm.
mean, that's
yeah,
what it does to you. Either you absolutely hate it or you become obsessed with it. There's no middle ground, is what I found. Um,
yes.
awesome. Yeah. So,
There's
origin,
something about jujitsu people. There is definitely something
Hmm.
different about us for us to
yeah.
really enjoy that type of violence.
Yeah. Rebecca, you said something that kind of ticked in my mind was like, you kind of realize pretty quickly these are your people,
Hmm.
you
Yes.
know? And it's weird, right? The unity, the fast unity that comes with it because everybody is from different walks of life, different political stances, different religions, different age groups. I
Hmm.
mean,
Huge age gaps,
yeah,
huge age.
yeah,
Huge. Like some of your best
yeah,
friends are like 20 something.
yeah, right. Sometimes I have to ask myself, what am I doing when I'm rolling with
Think I'm
these?
like the third oldest female. I'm the largest female that attends Iron Wolf. So,
Not by much. Not at all.
Yeah, we
but there's
do.
something to that too, being, all of us are various sizes, ages, and we all just make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. I think we could spend the entire time just in this section alone talking about this. But what I would
Yeah.
love to learn more about, what barriers do you feel women face before they even step onto the mat, right?
Oh, well.
If I
Fear.
mean,
There's so many,
and
there's a list. It's very long. Uh,
yeah, I would imagine so.
I
Well, the
mean,
husband, if you're married, he
oh
needs to
yeah.
be willing to accept that you're potentially training with other men. We have men in the gym who will not or are not
Hmm.
allowed to train with women, and
Hmm.
I totally respect that.
Hmm.
You have to respect your wife,
Oh, yeah.
and women have to respect their husbands. So that could be a barrier. Time,
Time's a huge
work,
barrier. Hmm.
children,
Life itself.
school if you don't have children or if you're not married. I mean,
Yeah.
financial thing, financially too, because
Finance.
it can be
Yes,
expensive.
absolutely. But I also think it takes, for women, we are our own worst enemies sometimes. And I think that's a barrier too. We look at something like jujitsu and that's crazy. Like, I mean, they're like beating each other up and flipping over. And I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, I'm just a poor young teacher. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And so we have to like get past that mentality that we can't.
Right.
Hmm.
And that fear that this will never work for me. And the thing is, that's after you do it one day, you have to keep battling that every next time that you show up.
Hmm.
Because I mean, after jujitsu, often sometimes I'm like, well,
Wow.
suck at jujitsu.
Why am I
And
doing this? This is
I
craziness.
paid to get beat up, like so it's a mentality for sure that we have to get past. But I think also like just once I go, every time I leave, I'm like, I did it. I went to jujitsu today. I
Hmm.
grew a little bit more. I don't
Yeah.
know where, but I did.
1%.
I think
1%.
I think I think I just gained some insight and I love this is what I love about podcasting right here is I learn just as much from my guests those type of struggles and barriers like Emily what you were talking about with there are some husbands that maybe they don't train
Mhm.
and it's important that they understand that you could be training with men and if they're not okay with it that you're in a gym that accepts that and
Right.
like that's not a barrier typically that I'm not saying that men wouldn't have that but that's something that definitely your single people and things like that don't have to deal with and then the kids factor right because a lot of
Yes.
times um, I mean, my wife, she's a stay-at-home mom and has been a stay-at-home mom our entire marriage. If she started training jujitsu and I'm at work and she could only get to the lunch class or what have you, like that's like constraints that men don't sometimes have to deal with. And then I was actually Rebecca going to ask about like the mental and emotional aspect of it, but it sounds like that it's kind of one and the same, right? But how could it not be?
Mhm.
Um, Do you think something changes? Uh, well, actually, you kind of talked about this earlier. Um, do you think something changes when women walk into a gym on a mat and they see other women? Like, do you think that helps with that mental aspect of it and kind of warms them up? Versus they walk in and they're like I was talking about at the beginning, the only ones there.
I definitely think so. I know for me, whenever I started, I was so comforted knowing that Rebecca was there because sometimes it was just her and it was just me,
Mhm.
or, Jasmine.
Mhm.
And then I started, I got some courage and thought, okay, I'm going to try a noon class while my husband is at work because I was very adamant about only training with him. And then Misty was there at the noon class. I felt a lot of comfort in that. So I definitely believe that when other women come in, that they also find comfort in knowing that there are other women on the mat and they're not going to be the only woman in the room.
It's true. I'd even say we get a little giddy. I'll be like, I show up, we haven't planned it out or anything, and I go and I'm like, I'm seeing my whole crew here, and I'm like,
Yes,
Right.
this class is going to be
the
awesome.
best, the
So
best.
it is exciting to see my female crew there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely. I think, and I think this is something probably both the men and women in jujitsu share. It really does expand your community, and I've made so many friendships,
Mhm.
you know, uh, in my jujitsu journey that I would have never had, and yeah, I could see where it would be a little less intimidating. Um, Stressful, however you want to say it, if you did, see the same people showing up and training and kind of having that bond. Um, One of the things, we talked about barriers, um, and barriers and fears can kind of go hand in hand. But if we think about like internalized fears, right? What are the most common fears that maybe you have found um, when women are thinking about getting into jujitsu or when they're first into jujitsu? Maybe some of the people that women that you teach have shared some of their early fears. What are some of those, common fears that you see?
One of the first thing that comes to my mind is we're all afraid we're going to hurt each other.
Hmm. I was going to say injury.
Injury, yeah. We're very concerned. We're doing these dangerous moves, um, and we're all very concerned about are we hurting our partner because at Iron Wolf, our number one rule is to take care of your partner. So you can't do jujitsu without your partners. You don't break your toys.
Right.
So, you have to learn, how much or intensity you can provide to submissions and in moves. So I think that that's one of the major concerns that women have is injury. Am I going to hurt you if I do this Americana or if I do this choke or this heel hook, you know?
Mhm. Absolutely. And I'd even say entry for yourself. I mean, I'm thinking about how I'm doing my jujitsu when I'm rolling each time. And I'm like, is it worth it?
Right.
I'm
That too.
asking that question because I know I've got limitations, and they're doing working their arm bar, and I'll be like, well, I still gotta make pancakes with that arm in about an hour, like I I've got we have these outside like lives and responsibilities, and I've got tiny humans that are depending on me, and it
Right.
don't matter if I'm broken, they still expect the pancakes to be on the plate. And so it's
Yeah.
like that is definitely something we think about, I think, is injury, like my limitations. I got to be careful with the moves I make, and also they're making moves, and I'm cautious of that too. And I don't want to hurt. Like we're multi-thinking all of the time, Joe. A
Yeah.
woman's brain is insane. You don't want to go there, but I'm thinking about 10 weeks from now, okay? It's just we think about so many things at one time. And so sometimes our brains do kind of get in the way a little bit, especially because we have some of those fears like injury.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit of a benefit if you're thinking ahead in jujitsu because you always have to think one move ahead, right? So no, that's awesome. What do you think? What do you think women practitioners think jujitsu will be like? Like, what preconceived notions? And maybe it was, maybe you could speak for yourselves. What did you think jujitsu would be like? Did it align with what you thought it would be? Is it something totally different? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you.
Yeah,
I mean,
the tiger claw. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that kind of was my only mentality and notion of it. Like, was, the basic movie karate type thing. And
Yep.
also, everybody's bleeding. Everybody's bleeding. There's cast and crutches everywhere. Like,
Just
it's so
a war
intense when
room.
you're thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Well, like I said, I did my research.
I did not do
So
any.
Emily
I knew
Googled.
what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Um, I just wasn't sure at the time if I could handle it because of my claustrophobia. Like I've really,
Yeah.
really tried to get past that. And I've done really well. Sometimes like there were so many panic attacks, tears on the way home, tears on the
Mm.
way there, and then feeling better after class because I survived.
Mhm.
So, you know, it
Yeah.
it can be tough.
Yeah, that's a good bit of vulnerability there. I bet you that there are a lot of listeners, both men and women, who deal with that because I have high anxiety, PTSD, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and I don't necessarily get claustrophobic. Actually, maybe I do because if I get a little breathless and I can't get that breath back and somebody's on top of me, I'm tapping. Maybe they don't even have me in a submission, but I think that I think there's a lot of people out there that could probably relate to something like that. And, since you both are, the primary instructors for the women's course and knowing, Emily, some of the things that you deal with and Rebecca, even some of the maybe the mental and emotional things that you deal with, how do you structure your class uh, to take in account some of that potential anxiety that maybe they didn't come up and say, "Hey, I claustrophobic," or "I was, I'm a trauma survivor victim," right? Like, how do you set that up to kind of help with that anxiety? Is there something like when a new person comes in, you kind of just talk to them and get to know a little bit about them before you put them in a role, or like what's that look like?
Well, we kind of talked about this ahead of time, and um, Rebecca, I'll let you answer.
All right. So when they first get there, Introduction's really important. And Caleb modeled this for us.
Hmm.
So as soon as they come in the door, like I'm rushing over there to go and greet them and let them know that we are happy that they are here. And then we really like just start off and communicating that, hey, you're here. If you simply want to observe, you don't even have to get on the mat. If you'd like to sit and observe on the mat, you're welcome to do that too.
Hmm.
We make sure that it's very clear that there's nothing here that they have to do, whatever they feel comfortable with. I mean, and also like, a standard basis. We also don't be like, guess what? Roll one is today. So we save rolling. We'll do more drilling with them until they feel more comfortable. But just setting it up and communicating that we want them to be comfortable here
Hmm.
and letting them know that it's safe. And as we're teaching together, I love teaching with Emily, by the way. She's like the best co-teacher ever.
So are you.
We're a team. We're the best
We
team.
work really well
We
together.
do, we do. So what we do is we go back and forth and we're constantly encouraging when we're teaching and we try to make sure that if we've got somebody who's brand new, but we also have some people who've been here consistently,
Hmm.
like we make sure that the lesson can reach both of them. So we adjust as we see the people that are in our class
Hmm.
and we make those needs and adjustments so that everybody feels that they're learning and growing and have a safe place to do whatever they want to do as far as the level that they want to like participate in.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's great. I was going to ask kind of what you intentionally don't do, but you
No
kind of
rolling.
listed, yeah, the rolling, right? And that's, I think that would be terrifying.
You have to earn that.
And
We have to watch you and watch you in your drilling, watch how you're treating other people, watch how you're treating yourself before you earn that.
Hmm. It's definitely an earning thing because at the same time, as much as I'm concerned for you, not going to like set it up to where they could be injured because, you go crazy wild and you haven't learned all the procedures and rules that we have here and making sure that we take care of our partners.
all
Yes.
right,
The
all
most
right.
dangerous person in the room is a white belt.
Hmm.
I think that may be the most dangerous person in the world, like just in general. I know I
Probably.
It's
was.
pretty
I
scary.
was. Oh, let me tell you. Um, I'm actually ashamed to tell this, but it
Oh, do
has to be
tell.
told.
On
It has to
record
be
now.
told. So at Alliance, I was put initially on the female no roll list. And the reason for that was Emily's face. No, it's nothing terrible, but
Like,
what it
what did
was,
you do?
what it
We're gonna
was
get you.
Right?
I,
Should we put him on our list?
oh gosh, and
No,
I have to
I'm
train.
definitely rolling with him.
Yeah, I have to train tomorrow with Emily. No, what it was I I was using more strength than I realized,
Oh yeah.
and
That's
putting
common.
like full on pressure on, and I didn't know how to roll. It was new to me, right?
Hmm.
So for like a week, um, the I think it was two or three females who trained during the time that I trained, like the class is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, Rodrigo came to me, was like, "Hey, just want to let you know you made the no roll list." I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And he told me, I was like, "Oh my god!" So I went. And I said, "Look, if you give me another chance to roll with you, I promise you, I'll do right. You know, I won't put all this crazy pressure." And then, of course, I'm back in the mix. So, but I
Hmm.
felt horrible for that. I mean, that's a real thing,
It
right?
is.
Like that is
And it's
important too, in my mind, for women to be in a space where they can do that and say that and not feel
mhm,
pressure to have to roll with someone they're not comfortable with.
absolutely. There are, I'm not going to name names, but
Right.
there are men that I will not work with because, my job is to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And I know that they aren't bad people. They are good people. They're just not on my approved list of rolling partners.
Yeah. It's
And
important. I
that's
think we all
okay.
should have those, especially the higher belt you get. Right.
Yeah.
I think the higher you go, you need to be mindful. I mean, there's black belts that, no disrespect, some of them won't even roll with white belts at
Hmm.
all in any gym.
Yeah. I've
Uh,
busted a lot of lips. I remember one time I busted this guy's lip with my head, and I felt horrible. And he did such a good job of um, not freaking out and not getting angry. It was Seth.
Oh,
He did such a good job of staying calm, and I felt absolutely horrible. And I know once I headbutted Caleb in the mouth.
mm.
I know that I've hit my own husband so many times,
uh,
many times to count. But yeah, I mean, white belts
yeah,
are dangerous.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I've been
yeah,
elbowed and punched and
Oh,
busted
I've
lips,
elbowed and punched Emily, so
kicked in
yeah,
the face.
not
yeah.
intentionally, not intentionally.
No, it's accidental.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
I got kicked in the face by Joey the other day, and I didn't tell him. Well, I guess he's gonna know now.
He's gotta know now.
But he's the one that
Knows
gave me
now.
the newest shiner, right? I guess it's over here. It's going away,
Uh-huh.
but I've had more black eyes in my jujitsu journey than injuries. So
I,
that I mean
yeah,
those heal pretty quick. So
I work in a nursing home as a nurse, and so I go to work with busted lips and
Hmm.
black eyes. I'm like, I don't think makeup's gonna cover this, so
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm
yeah,
okay. I do jujitsu.
Right.
yeah. I have to go to executive board meetings sometimes, and I show up with a black eye on Zoom, and they're like, oh, because they require you to have your cameras on. Anyway, um,
I
I've
actually
I've
want to
had
talk
some.
about what you said real fast,
Yeah.
Joe. You said that once you found out you were on the list, you asked to come back and you were intentional about what you did. And I think,
Oh yeah.
honestly, for all your listeners, like that means a lot.
It does.
If you
Yeah.
are, especially if you're a male out there and you're rolling, with your fellow female, teammates, like just being conscientious of it. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't want you to make, be really like dainty with me either, like I'm gonna break. There's
Yeah.
a balance, but I don't
Yeah.
want you going so hard, or like please don't use me as your frustration,
Yeah. Yeah.
puppet.
I mean, what I realized, I was going, pretty much the same like role pace as I was with the males, and
Hmm.
just didn't realize it. Right. It was I hadn't learned,
Hmm.
you know, one or I think I was maybe one stripe white, but I just hadn't learned how to
Hmm.
dial
Dial
that
it back.
back.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like it, it like wrecked me a little bit. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. But I'm so glad too,
Hmm.
right, that I was in a gym where it was addressed. And yeah, absolutely. I think if a male, if someone if a guy in a gym finds themselves, not being paired up with female rolling partners and other people are, I think you should ask, hey, is there something that
Hmm.
maybe go to the professor, right? And say,
Hmm.
hey, do you know if anything's going on? Because, and I think it's also a duty of a professor to let that person know too, because I would have never known. I wouldn't have paid
Hmm.
attention to it. So I'm glad that I'm glad I learned that early too in my career, like in my journey, right?
And that you were receptive to it
Oh
Yes.
and you were
yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
change. So I know that,
Absolutely.
women would appreciate that.
Yes. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I was hesitant to share it, but it came up and I was like, yeah, this is great. It pops in my mind from time to time, and almost every time when I start a roll, I'm like, okay, make sure you slow it down. I did want to go back though to what we were talking about with your um with the women that you train. Is there ever a moment um when you can kind of see that initial fear or those hesitation reservations like leave them? Do they show up and they just look more confident or more comfortable, or even maybe it's during a roll and they just look like they're having fun versus about to have a panic attack or something, right?
Hmm.
Is there ever a moment that you see that?
Well, the first thing that pops into my head is I saw that this weekend. Um, but it wasn't during the ladies' class, it was during the noon gi class, the co-ed class. Um, I was teaching that class since Caleb was competing, and two girls came in. It was their first gi class, and they're sisters. And the younger one was like, I am not working with the guys. Um, but she's like, I'm only working with my sister. And I'm like, that's totally fine. I want you to be comfortable. Just do what you need to do. And I spent a lot of time with them, uh, helping them with their techniques. And Rebecca was there, and someone else was there. And once they did their technique and got more comfortable with it, I was like, what do you think about working with someone else now? And she was like, you know what? I think it'll be okay. Like she felt more confident. She felt more relaxed. And then she was able to work with Rebecca and the other person. And she learned a lot. And, it was a really good experience, really for both of them, because the other one got to work with other people as well instead of just her sister. So, it was it was exciting to see that, people who are able to find their comfort, their little comfort zone, even if it's like a first gi class when you're just used to doing no gi, that alone can be a hard work. um, but yeah, I watched that fear leave her eyes. She was much more comfortable.
And even in some of our ladies who just have been here for such a long time, like Tammy and
Oh yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
like when we roll with them now, I mean, there's a little bit of the fear in my eyes because they're like, I'm coming to get you,
Yeah.
Rebecca. And I'm like, yes, I'm so glad that you are like ready to go. Like they are on it. It's, you can see it in their face, Joe.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
It's exciting to see. I
Hmm.
love seeing that confidence. I love seeing their growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be the best feeling to know that you facilitated that, right? In your training, and and it's a perfect pivot into some other things I want to talk about, because you're both purple belts, and we know in jujitsu that's a lot of times those who want to train and coach, that's kind of when they start, right?
Mhm.
I've started helping with the kids class because I'll never be a world masters champion or anything like that. I'm 40. Oh my God, I'm 46. I'm 46 years old, right? And but I do want to train. I do want to coach. But purple belt is that time. Um, how has, teaching and coaching, um, how has that changed your individual jujitsu, whether it be skill set, confidence, both? I mean, has it helped? Have you noticed
Hmm.
the benefits of it for yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%. If you can, I was talking to her before this, like, if you can put a move into words, like, I'm on the right path, like, because sometimes I'll be trying to teach them, like, I've never thought about putting it into words before,
Yes.
or to, step by step process it. It makes me think deeper about these techniques.
Hmm. Yeah, I found myself thinking back, okay, how did Caleb say this? So I can make sure that I say it the right way. But it's definitely helped me with my technique, simple things as far as like arm placement, the exact arm placement. You can't be all loosey-goosey. For example, with an Americana, your arms go in very specific places, your hands move very specific ways, and to execute the submission, you know, you have to be able to articulate that, I think, and that's definitely been able to, it's definitely helped me with my own personal technique and execution of moves.
Absolutely. And they ask great questions, questions that I don't personally think about.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I've never thought about that before. And I'm like, let's give it a try. And so I feel like we've tried more and thought about jujitsu in a different way because we've really had to be open to everybody in the room, especially
Hmm.
because we
Right.
never know what kind of questions we're going to get. And our group, we allow our young girls to come in as well. So mom and daughters are often in our group. I love it. We got little Savage coming all the time. She beats me up.
She's great.
She is great. She is great. And so their way of thinking is it's fantastic to get questions from them. They're like, what if the big bad man did this? I'm like, oh,
What if
let's
they
think
pulled
that
out a
through.
samurai sword or a lightsaber? How would you do that?
Exactly.
Well, I would ask where you got a lightsaber. But yeah, no. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, kids can say craziest thing. Yeah, I was teaching or helping teach kids at Alliance maybe one class a week when I could get to it. And started help. Emily knows I've started helping.
I'm immensely grateful that you were there to help.
I know. Well, I'm glad. I feel, I feel though, again, another vulnerable moment here. Um, what's the word? A little bit of that imposter syndrome, right? In the sense of, well, Rebecca, you said that you never really thought about like putting it into words. Well, I'm having that problem, but then also putting it into words where children understand.
Hmm.
Yes.
And I'm realizing that, wow, I don't know if I'm skilled enough to do this. And even though I have 5 kids, right, I wasn't teaching them step by step jujitsu and martial arts, right? So that's something that I'm working on, right, myself. And the kids are looking at me to tell them where to put their, hands, and I'm like, oh, what did he say? What did Caleb say? This goes where, right? Like, oh, I don't want to tell them I don't know, but, um, so yeah, have either of you, since you started teaching adults, and have you ever had that kind of imposter syndrome? If
Absolutely.
yeah,
Like
All the time.
it's still it likes to
well,
show
good.
its
I'm in good
way.
company. I don't feel bad now.
I know what you mean with the kids, though. I remember when I first started helping, I was like, okay, I really have to pay attention to what he's teaching so that I can, reciprocate that on the mat, teaching and coaching these kids. But I've learned that less is more for them, and they get things so much faster than you would think. And they don't have to get it perfectly, but if they understand the concept, then that's a win.
Right. Mm.
But imposter syndrome, ugh. We've had a lot of conversations about that.
We do. And honestly, that's why I'm so grateful for a partner in teaching this class because I can I can ring her up and be like, guess what? I'm still a white belt. Yes. And I'll just feel like I can't, kind of like I was talking about earlier, we kind of battle that I can't type mindset, which then brings in that imposter syndrome, like, oh, I can't possibly be a purple belt teaching other people about jujitsu, but like really, you know, I know deep down that I can. But sometimes I need somebody to just remind me and give me that encouragement to be like, stop talking negatively about yourself, Rebecca. Get
Yeah.
back up there and get back in front of that class. You're a great teacher. And so we really lift each other up. And we do that in our ladies class a lot too. We actually have a little powwow, Joe. All right.
Imagine
Nice.
that.
We have a
Like,
powwow at the end of class. And when we first started it, it was just to be kind of like mini encouragement, wrap the class up, see if they had any questions kind of thing. But it transformed. It's the one thing that I think surprised me the most about
mhm.
our class was how powerful and impactful that powwow was. We pick a word like for the month, like this month is courage.
Mhm.
And we find a couple of quotes sometimes, or even just like talking things out. We're like, hey, this is a point that, really stands out. And we just spend like 1 or 2 minutes talking about it. And we not only talk about it, but we're like, hey guys, this applies to you right now in your jujitsu, in your
Mhm.
life. Like, we're family here. If you need anything, you give us a call. I take every moment in that last little powwow to be like, hey, the world brings you down, but we're going to lift you up because you can. You showed up today, and that's a huge win. So it's,
And I'm
mm,
immensely grateful that she does that. She's such a good teacher, and she's so good with our little mat chats that we have that I'm like, you know what? That's more of her personality, whereas I'm more direct and to the point. I'm like, hey, let's go. And she's very funny.
I am kind of funny.
So we flow very well together, I think.
Yeah, I remember, Rebecca, I think we first rolled at a 5:30 a.m. class. You're delirious at that
That's
time
way too
anyway.
early.
Oh,
And I
yes.
like to talk a lot when I roll, like too, like kind of, and I noticed that, and it was a lot of fun. And I could imagine um, how rolling with someone who makes, rolling not intense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to like have a full blown conversation during rolling, but
Hmm.
like how that could make them feel, what's the word, more at ease, right? And then this powwow idea, it's amazing. I think that all classes should end with some type of, not necessarily a Sunday school lesson or what have you, but somehow to take what you have learned and overcome in your class and apply it to everyday living and
Mhm.
encouragement and things like that. I think that's huge. Um, shifting a little bit and want to talk about technique versus confidence. And I know this battle between the two for me. It started showing up at blue belt because blue belt for me has been just, I don't know, like a wild ride in how different the white belt phase was for me. And maybe it was the same, but now you're both purple belts and you've been purple belts for a while. When we think about confidence, and maybe you can answer this from your own experience versus the women you teach, how does confidence change the way women roll? Right, maybe with each other, or you see them rolling with other, male counterparts. Like when that confidence shows up, how does that change the game? Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I think for
Good.
me, the confidence came when I made a decision to be more intentional in my roles. I had specific goals. And because my issue, I know I've said this earlier, is I tend to be too nice. It's hard to go from mom, caretaker to I'm here to beat you up.
Yeah.
So, you know, confidence uh, seemed to show up more when I was more intentional with, say, my aggression. I became a little bit more aggressive, and then, I was intentional with whatever moves I wanted to do. And once I was able to execute those, it made me feel more confident. And then I would just try those same things on everybody that I rolled with. And, you know, sometimes I got it, sometimes I didn't. And it just helped me feel better about my jujitsu.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that definitely helps with the confidence. It's not always there. It's not, especially if we're learning something new. I'm like, I suck. I'm back to white belt. Here's
Hmm.
my belt.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's, you know, technique comes with practice, drilling over and over and over until it just feels like you don't want to do it anymore. You'll notice that the next time that you roll, you're like, oh, well, that was a little easier.
Right.
And that definitely helps with confidence.
I'm still struggling with confidence in my technique sometimes. I I think I think it's interesting because I think it's more like a relationship between the two. Once I practice so much of the technique, it'll build my confidence,
Hmm.
and then also, I have the confidence, to try that technique and to roll a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You definitely have to have a little bit of confidence when you are rolling because that was what changed for me. Once my confidence kind of changed in jujitsu early on, that's when I started to roll a little bit harder. And that's when my game really started to change because, when I'm rolling harder and intense like, then I can really start to work some of those techniques that I was, practicing during the drilling time. So I just think they play so much hand in hand that they kind of affect each other along the way.
Hmm.
My confidence builds, so does my technique, and back and
Yeah.
forth.
Do you feel I did a Instagram? I've started the series on Instagram, Blue Belt Reality, what have you, and I did a post on not putting pressure on yourself to win, and
Hmm.
and for me, the reason I bring that up is because for me, the technique started clicking faster when I stopped putting so much pressure on myself. From both of your perspectives, do you feel that's true when you kind of get that pressure out of your head or off of you, that the technique seems to work better or come to you faster?
I would agree. That makes me think of competition training.
Mhm.
Um, man, I am very hard on myself. and then add competition training into it, and I'm like, I'm so hard on myself. Everything is hard. Everything has to be right, and if it's not, I shouldn't even be here. So, um, but definitely, I agree with you.
Yeah. I would say, it sounds like if we're putting a sound bite on this, it sounds like confidence creates capacity, right? To
Mhm.
learn more, to build more, things like that, right? And it's funny that you bring up competition, because I think it's important to talk about competition and the culture that we're in competition, just kind of how it is now, just exploding. I mean, men, women, kids, like every Atlanta Open seems just packed all the brackets, and it's just growing so much. Um, or how, I want to say it like this, how do women support each other differently on the mat when it comes to, day to day, and also when they know maybe each other are competing? How, is there, do you see a difference in kind of how they build each other up?
I think absolutely. I think one of the benefits, women are really good about, we like to talk. And we communicate. And I think that's one of the things that we do really well at jujitsu is we really are upfront, like I mean, we're honestly, we get to the mat, we're starting to do our drills and I'm like, so how's your day? Like what's going on in your life right now? So we're getting like the day to day, but even when it starts to come to like where you're at with your jujitsu and about to roll, I'll be like, what you working on? Do
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
want to work on something? I'll be like, Emily, I just want you to sit on me and I need to learn how to escape this. And then when it comes to our people that are competing, I'd be like, all right, what's your game plan? I want you to do the whole drill on me. Like, let's go. So I think communication is definitely something that benefits us when we're talking about whether they're competing and we're just looking at that differently and maybe our intensity level. We'll even ask intensity level, like, how hard do you want me to go? Do you want me to kill you? I can do it. Like, I mean, so we just really talk about what we need from each other and then we go for it.
Hmm.
Um, I this I don't know how I want to position this question. Do either of you have um like celebrity jujitsu female competitors that or people on like Instagram or social media that you kind of follow and like to watch? Like for me, it's like Leo Nogueira, Bernardo Faria, um, and some of those people. Is there anyone that you kind of follow and look up to besides each other? I'm sure. I'm sure that's.
I follow Emily.
I She's a lot younger than me, but I really like her jujitsu. Fionn Davies,
Yeah,
the
she's
way she moves,
amazing.
though, like
Oh,
she keeps it. She can do fancy stuff, but she'll do fundamentals and make it look just like butter, like it's the easiest thing ever. And I love watching her.
oh
I
yeah.
really do. She's
Hmm.
and then what's the girl with the pigtails?
Ooh, I know what you're talking about. I put
Oh,
her.
Helena.
Helena. Helena.
Helena she's
She
she's dominant. She's
She's
just a
awesome.
she's
force.
amazing and she's so composed. Um,
She's got that one face, just that like stone face when she's rolling. When she's
and she's prepared.
Hmm.
I've
She
never
knows
seen
what
her
she's doing.
exhausted. I've never seen her exhausted. Like just
No.
give. Oh yeah, those. I think those two are my favorite. Fivon. So Victoria Delgado, who trains at Alliance, had to face her in the final at Worlds this year.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And Victoria landed a fireman's carry takedown on her.
Oh,
And of course,
sweet.
I mean, she lost, right? If you want to beat her, but
Oh,
could you
what an
imagine
honor just
leaving?
to
I
have a
Just
know.
that,
match with
like,
her. It's
could
like,
you
hey,
imagine?
I got beat up by Theon.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, looking at your bracket and going through? Does that say right? Like, she's in
Hmm.
there, And
Well, the girl that I lost to at ADCC, she is a world champion. Her name's Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly, if you ever listen to this, I think you're awesome. But she just competed again at ADCC and won and did really well. So she's somebody to watch out of. It's not Atos anymore. I think they changed their name by like Atos
yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah, I think it's such without all the stuff that's going on, right?
Yeah.
The bad stuff. It's over the past couple of years. I think women jujitsu at the high scale because of FIFA. I always mess up her first name. Because of Helena, because of all of these big name kind of competitors in the women's side. It's growing and it's amazing to see.
Hmm.
And they're the real deal. So I know there's some sections that we haven't gotten to, but we've been going for about an hour, and there's a
Yeah.
couple of sections I definitely want to get us to, and we don't
Okay.
have to
Okay.
get up tomorrow. Um, we have to train at lunch too.
Yes.
But I want to talk about why women stay or leave jujitsu, right? Because I think that's important for people to hear and to understand, especially those, a lot of people that listen to the podcast are coaches and owners of gyms. Um, so why do so many women quit, um, quit jujitsu, quit jujitsu in general, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's a traditional gym like a Gracie, or just quit the martial art altogether.
Hmm. I think there's so many different like things that go into play here because like we're saying, like life itself sometimes just gets in the way. I really like that there's many opportunities at our gym for different like different time frames. Like I do the 5:30 class on Fridays because I work through the whole week and it's the only time I can get there.
Hmm.
I don't want to be there at 5:30 in the morning, but that's the best time for me to kind
Hmm.
of train during the week sometimes. So life itself, and then also just that safe environment.
Hmm.
Like if that's not initially set up or felt, I think it's really easy to not any like they leave, kind of
Yeah,
situations there.
I would agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important too for coaches and gym owners to hear, and also those um, getting ready to start their own gym, right?
Mhm.
What do you think keeps women coming back to Iron Wolf Ladies Jiu Jitsu specifically to train with Emily and Rebecca?
Community.
Yes, that's what I was thinking in my head too. The community that we have, Caleb worked really hard to create a safe place and for everybody, not just women, but it's really helpful and to know that we have a place that we can do jujitsu and it's completely safe. And then within that safe place, we've created a community where we feel like family.
Hmm.
Even if we only see each other on the mat, it still feels like family. We're really good friends. Most of us are really good friends, and we have new people that are like working their way in, but welcome them with open arms. Um, and whenever we have our mat chats and we talk about, hey, if you ever need something, or if you're
Hmm.
feeling stuck or you're thinking, maybe this isn't for me, let's just have a conversation. We actually mean that. We're not just like saying it to say it because we think people want to hear it. Like we mean what we say. We love jujitsu. We're passionate about it. Um, you know, it's we recognize all the difficulties that come with jujitsu on the mat and off the mat. And, you know, like we've been at it for years now and plan to continue to do it for more
Hmm.
years. We both want to get our black belts.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um, so, we want everybody to feel uh included. We don't want cliques, you
Hmm.
know.
yeah, that's
It's
that's a good
definitely
point.
community.
I think that kills a lot of just gyms overall is when,
Hmm.
and you see that a lot in the big ones. You do. I've trained in small gyms and big gyms, and you see it. And I think you because I heard someone say one time that they weren't going to have a gender specific type class because they didn't want, uh, the clicks that you're talking about. But I think that's an inappropriate way to look at it, right?
Mhm.
Um, if cliques start developing, yes, you address them, but we're talking about communities, right? And a community within a community is not a clique, right? It's the same community. So I think that sometimes people can think differently about that, and I think it's important to watch for those cliques. I would love to know how you both feel knowing that you're part of, women specifically progressing in jujitsu. Like you're part of this movement. You're making a difference, not just in your personal and individual journey, but in the journey of others. And I think, that goes, it speaks a lot to teaching, right? Like we get that from leadership, teaching, and coaching, but it's like specifically you were pouring into your community. What does that mean to you both?
I mean, it's for both of us, it's a huge honor. Like I just see it. I just respect this opportunity that Caleb has given us and the women that show up and trust us and to teach them things and to work with them and to help them grow and to share their life stories and their situations with us. It's an honor to do that. It makes me feel great love, honestly, just from everybody. And not only that, like when I have this opportunity to teach with Emily, I have, I grow. I tell them every time, I'm like, thank you for showing up
Mhm.
because you made me better today.
Mhm.
Mm,
You do say that. You say that every class. I know you mean it.
Hmm.
mm,
Um, it is an honor. It's an honor to be there and to be trusted as a coach at Iron Wolf. With the kids, with the adults, with our ladies class specifically, it's like, wow, you people come in and you trust us to teach you jujitsu. That feels like, maybe this is part of my purpose, like why I was meant to come and start jujitsu all those years ago. Um,
mm,
I read somewhere that you become who you were, who you needed as a child, and not to get too deep, but I really believe that. Like I needed a strong, confident woman in my life, and if I could surround myself with like-minded women like that, and then raise up those kids in jiu-jitsu
Hmm.
too,
wow.
I just I love it.
I
I
Mm.
really, really love it. Like, I get so excited about jujitsu. I know I've had my days where I'm like, I quit. And I'm calling Rebecca.
Yep.
Rebecca, talk me off this cliff, please. I'm really
Yeah.
struggling. And she'd do the same for me, and I would do that for anybody in
Hmm.
jujitsu if they're struggling, because life happens, and we need people like what we have in our jujitsu community to make sure that we stay together and we lift each other up and
Mm.
even hold each other accountable. So,
Hmm.
I love it.
Me too. It's my heart.
Yeah. That's huge. I mean, I don't see how you could not have this deep emotional connection and do this kind of work, right? Not just training jujitsu in general, but teaching and really making a difference in a specific and unique community. Um, as we kind of get to the close here, I would love kind of your thoughts and perspective. And this is going, this is speaking directly to those who are going to be listening that are gym owners and coaches and professors. Um, if they want to start a women's type program or focus class, what have you, what do they need to get right and what mistakes can they not make? Right? Like out of the gate. What do they need to get right? What can't they get wrong? Or yeah, what can't they get? You know what I'm saying? Am I
Yeah,
We
saying that
get it. We
right?
get it.
Did I even say that right? I don't know.
we
It's
understand what you
getting
mean.
late. It's past my bedtime. All right.
Same.
Go
Um,
ahead.
I think that they just need to, if you know, like what Caleb did, he's like, hey, you want to start a class? Start a class. That's what we did. And then he was like talking about it to everybody, you know, lifting us up.
Mhm.
Hey, Emily and Rebecca, they have a ladies class. You need to go. Tell your friends, you know, advertise it. Maybe not like just advertisement within the jujitsu school, and
Mhm.
then lift us up and support us in whatever way you see fit. Um, but just so we feel like, and the women feel like they're supported, because you know we are in a place that isn't ours. It's you know our coach's gym, but he's allowing it to happen. So knowing that he supports everything that we do in our class really, I think helps us out a
Mhm.
lot, and I think is
Yeah.
it really needs to happen.
It keeps us from being isolated.
Yes,
We are part of
Mm,
Iron Wolf.
yes, we are
that's
our
right.
Hmm.
Mm. Why does this have to be led with intention? Or let me ask it like this. When a coach decides to have a focus, a gym decides to have a focus on women jujitsu type class, um, how important is it for them to, one, choose the right person to lead it or group? I love that you tag team this. I mean, I think this is the way to do it if you're going to do it. And why marketing maybe is not so much the thing, but the selection of the person
Hmm.
and knowing that, like, what types of personalities do they need to be looking for, you know, what I guess the question is how important is it in getting the right person, and what type of personalities do you think do this well?
Hmm. So, first of all, I think you need to find someone who's passionate about doing it. You can't just assign and be like, hey, it's just another class that we're going to offer here at our gym. It's like, no, you got to be passionate about bringing women together and setting up a safe opportunity for them to learn and train and grow in jujitsu. So that's who you're looking for. If you don't have the passion, you're not going to have enough determination to make it last. Because you got
Mm,
to be determined. I
yeah.
mean, because it wasn't like, hey, we started this class and it's like,
20, 30 people have shown up. Like some
oh,
days it's just one person. If you don't
mm-hmm,
have somebody who's passionate about jujitsu or the class, then
mm-hmm,
they're going to quit. They're going
mm,
to get discouraged because, I mean, there's not a lot of women that are doing jujitsu, not in our area. Maybe if we were in a different area, our numbers would be higher, but you
mm-hmm.
know,
And
yeah,
being okay
like
with it that
metro
way.
areas. Yeah, I mean we're still a small town in Brazelton. I mean, in a sense, right? I mean we're growing, but
yeah,
we're
Yeah,
not
we are.
Athens.
We'll get
yeah.
there. We'll get there. It's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Um,
Well, you know, that's one thing I did notice, because as you both know, I left Iron Wolf. What year was it? Was it 2022 or 2023? Emily, I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know.
It
You
was
were
a
gone
while
for a
ago.
little
I mean,
bit.
I think you were still a white belt when I left. No,
Oh,
maybe you were a blue belt. I'm not sure.
I don't
But
remember.
I but one thing I have noticed, and I talked to Caleb about this on our episode, which was awesome, and I hope a lot of people listen to that. Um, was just how Iron Wolf has exploded in growth. I mean, and to think about, there was no marketing done really. I mean,
No,
Caleb
it's
didn't
all
even have a
organic
door
mostly.
sign until what, like a year or so ago. Like he
Yeah.
had no,
mhm,
like like you wouldn't know where Iron Wolf was unless somebody told you about it, and it's
mhm,
grown
mhm,
that
Hmm.
way. And I think that says a lot about our culture, our community, like what our environment is in Iron Wolf, right? Like what it
mhm,
means to be Iron Wolf. And I think that women who are listening, I think they should make sure that they're at a place where they feel that, whether
mhm,
they have, you know, a specific class that they can attend with other women, or you know they're just evaluating, hey, is this a safe spot for me?
Hmm.
mhm,
I know I would have been all over it if that was something that was available to me whenever I
mhm,
first started, simply because I was so afraid. You know, I was
mhm,
Hmm.
afraid. I was afraid of all the men. So. I think it's really a privilege that we're able to provide this as an opportunity for women who are
Yeah.
maybe wanting to learn more about self-defense or
Hmm.
jujitsu.
Yeah.
Holly is our self-defense girl.
Hmm.
Shout out,
Oh
Fortitude
yeah.
Self-Defense. We love Holly. She came to our class and I was like, you know what? I think you need more. She's she's
Was she
amazing.
doing Fortitude then, or did she launch that
Yeah, she
at, she
was.
was.
She
Oh yeah,
was.
that's right. She talked about that. Yeah.
I remember whenever Caleb told me, he was like, you're gonna have a new lady come to class. Her name's Holly. So I looked her up and I was like, why is she coming to our class? She's already doing self-defense. Well, she didn't know jujitsu.
Hmm.
Mm.
So when she came in, she just had so much that I could tell that she wanted to learn.
Oh, she was a sponge.
She still is a
Oh
Hmm.
sponge.
yeah, like
She's amazing.
you can just tell
So
she soaks it in. I
yeah.
love training with Holly, and she was on too, and we had a great conversation.
Hmm.
She's tough. Have y'all seen her IG post that she did, where it's like this self defense ring, but it's also
Yeah.
like a knife. I thought that was pretty cool.
Other people have bought that ring because of her. That
I
that
I was
ring
considering it.
is
I
a
was like, I
serious
don't.
weapon.
Yeah, because like if you're running, right, like anybody at night or early in the morning, which a lot of women that's when they can run, right
Yeah.
before the chaos begins. But anyway,
I mean, we
I
talk about self-defense too. We talk
Oh
about
yeah.
being aware of your surroundings at all times, having your eyes up, staying off your phone, using your voice. And if
Hmm.
that doesn't, and running away, if that doesn't get you away from someone or stop something from happening, then that's when we have jujitsu.
Hmm.
And then, if you believe in the Second Amendment,
Mhm.
which I do, you need to carry, you need to have knives, you need to have one of those fun
Hmm.
rings. Um,
Yeah,
Fun rings.
fun
my ring.
rings.
I'm
They're
thinking about
lots of
the
Little
ring
fun.
pop.
pot. I'm thinking about the ring pot. That's what I would have. Like, got my ring pot.
We talk about all of that. So it,
Yeah, that's awesome. I Well, so we've been at it. I want to thank you both so much for coming on. I think this is like I said at the beginning, a timely conversation. I think
Mhm.
it's an important topic, and as we close out, what I would love to know again, kind of from both of you, if a woman is listening right now and thinking, uh, maybe someday I'll do jujitsu, or thinking about it and on the fence, what would you tell her?
Mm.
just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
Love it.
it.
Nike.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Just do
Just
it.
do it.
You'll get addicted. Come
You,
on.
you've got
Join the
what,
club.
yeah, you've got what it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got it in you. All you got to do is go.
Yeah. You don't have to wait till you're in shape. You don't have to
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
for whatever it is that you're waiting on. Just show up. Just try it. I mean, first class is free.
Mhm.
What's holding you back? Sometimes we have to bring our kids, my kids with me all the time.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
we're, you know, just show up. Just come.
Yeah. Don't let those excuses keep you from an awesome experience. You're gonna love it. Jiu-jitsu's the best.
And
Jujitsu.
meeting great people like us, right? I
Absolutely.
mean,
Exactly.
how cool are we?
We are pretty
And
cool.
I'm highly considering coloring my hair.
You really should.
I mean,
Bright red, man.
right? I'm really, I'm considering it. I don't have a lot of hair, and it's starting.
Oh, we can
We're
make it
doing we're
work,
doing
Joe. We can make it
video.
work.
I'm starting. I didn't know this. I did not know this, but my wife called it out. I'm starting to lose a little on the top, and I don't want to be that guy with the hole, right?
Oh, you don't
So
want the
I'm
hole.
thinking I'm thinking if I
But
can, maybe put some
minoxidil,
color and distract
I
it,
think that's
you
the
know?
Oh, yes. So you use the hair dye and then you get one of those Crayola Sharpies. Just kind of mark it in. You be good. No one will notice, Joe.
oh
It's
my.
like the Sharpie shiplap, right? Like
Yes.
don't do that for my hair.
Well, they make this special shampoo called minoxidil. You can try that.
Oh yeah, the I can't
It's
look.
a
Look.
medicated shampoo
I don't have the shampoo, but I got the Rogaine drops, but I keep forgetting to put
and
it
there's
on.
drops, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the discipline to put it on, so I'm just gonna let go and let God, and just it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I have ball caps. All right, so
Yes.
so if we have kind of a tagline out to the listeners here, it kind of sounds like creating space isn't about lowering standards by any means. It's about opening doors, Emily and Rebecca, I'm super thankful for you coming on and talking about building something that is absolutely changing lives, um, and just making jujitsu better for those who are uh, doing jujitsu. So thank you both.
Thank
And
Thanks
you.
for having
Thanks for
us.
having us. We
Mhm.
appreciate you.
really quick, if anyone wants to connect with you, what's the best way for them to connect?
Well, it is our Instagram. It's at BJJ underscore ladies only IW on
Awesome,
Instagram.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in the show notes, and
Mhm.
they will
I don't know.
absolutely.
Let's
I
see.
love it. I have this. I actually have that sticker. I don't know if you can see this. That's fun. I have it on. Let's see. There it is.
Yay!
There it is. It goes everywhere this little thing goes, which is
Love
everywhere
it.
and
Thank
every
you.
trip. So, um, yeah. Well, I again thank you. This has been great. And yep, we'll get this out soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank